Earnings. We talked about the big banks yesterday. We continue today. United Capital PLC, a leading Pan-African financial services institution, releasing its first quarter 2024 financials, showing double-digit growth in profit. There are the numbers: 6.1 billion naira gross earnings, 14% growth. Net trading income, 50. Now you could approximate to 60% growth if you want, 632 million. Total expenses, and this is pretty good. They reduced their expenses by 15% to 2.2 billion. Operating income coming in at 3.8 billion naira, 44% growth. Pre-tax profit, 45% growth with 4 billion. Profit after tax, 47% year on year. What about the stock? Now, we've been talking about this for quite a while. Financial services, the stock, some of them, very much the sector, down. But if you look at the 1 year return, so year to date, down 25%. But 1 year return for United Capital PLC, 47%. Look at the 2 year, 33% growth. 3 year, 209. And I think if you get to 5 year, it's about 600%. So pretty impressive stuff. Peter Ashade, who is the Group CEO, United Capital PLC, been in the financial services sector for a good 34 years. He joins us now to discuss. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So the triggers behind the results, can you talk about what boosted them?
Thank you very much. As you're aware, United Capital is a group of businesses, 6 in number. So during the quarter, I'm quite excited about the performances of all our businesses. Our asset management business grew by 25% to stop at 812 billion. That is assets under management. Right. And that took us to number 2 asset manager in Nigeria. It might interest you to note that some couple of years ago, we were number 13.
Wow.
And with less than 2% market share. So we grew from there. In the last 2 years, we were number 3. As at end of 2023, we were number 3. But now, at first quarter 2024, we are now number 2. So we're clear. So we're clear on that. Yeah. On our security business, some couple of years we were like number 32. But we tipped on my first quarter at number 2 in terms of value, number 6 in terms of volume.
Okay.
So that's quite instructive. Also, our investment banking business, engage in a very strong milestone on the Nigerian exchange in the first quarter. Yeah. We happen to be the lead financial advisor to a remarkable listing of the day in the market, or a 1.8 trillion capitalization of Transcorp Power. That is quite very, very instructive.
So you were behind that, okay.
So we're behind that. Yeah. So that was quite very instructive for us. And in terms of our trust business, we grew year on year by 28%. So when you look at each of our lines, we are really filing, at the top cylinder. And to crown it up, you see, in terms of our overall assets under management, so a couple of years ago, we are like less than 300. Yeah. As we speak, at end of Q1 2024, we have moved to 1.1 trillion.
That's a big
jump. So for us, it's quite a remarkable exponential growth, and we hope to sustain it as we go. And supporting this is a strong, agile and well-motivated workforce.
Oh, excellent. So based on, I guess, what we've seen from Q1, you want to forecast what the market can expect for the rest of the year in terms of your performance. I mean, you don't have a crystal ball, but I mean, if it's growth, then, what do we expect?
So for us, it's quite very key. So the market, we see the market positively. Yeah. The future looks green. Quite well. First, in line with what we have always, our key objective that we always talk about, we're going to grow the shareholders' wealth. Yeah. It might interest you to note that last year we grew our shareholder fund by 175%, from 23 billion in 2022 to 99 billion as at end of 2023. And even in first quarter, we have grown by additional 19%. So we will continue to pursue that to grow our shareholders' wealth. So United Capital is a share to watch out for. And that is that. On the back of that, too, our longer business, we're going to focus on financial inclusion. And that is why in a couple of months now, we're launching our microfinance bank. Yeah. And again, to drive our financial inclusion strategy. In addition to that, we are, in terms of, on the back of a remarkable performance by our team, our board just approved a very strong review of our compensation on the 1st of May to our team, so which is very critical,
to make them smile.
To make them smile. So we expect so much from them. Expect that at least in terms of the review of compensation, which is going to make, if they have done that much prior to that, you know what you expect in years to come. So we are building a very strong workforce, and that's why we continue to create an enabling environment, because our people happens to be one of our major success pillars.
Now, of course, because the employees, they're the source of all your success. Fantastic. And your leadership, of course. I think you're the only capital markets group on the NGX. Talk about your strategy. How you put all this together?
It's okay. So in 2013, we got listed in January 2013. We got listed as the only capital market operator. Now I think now we have VFD listed also.
Yeah,
last year VFD
right.
listed. But between then and now, we've done a lot. We were careful about each of our operating space. One of the key strategies is that we should not operate less than top 3 in any of our operating space. And today, we're achieving that quite well across all our lines, which is very key. And we will continually see, as the economic evolve during either any situation we find the economy, we try as much as possible to see opportunities rather than challenges. And that was why one of our high point was in 2020 during COVID.
Yes.
We made an astronomical profitability in terms of, and which affected our growth. So for us, whereas when you see that year, Christian, with high level challenges, but we saw opportunity and position ourselves. The same thing we have done in years till date, and we are quite positive that in implementing our strategic outlook that we have for the remaining part of the year and for years to come, we are calm about it. We believe in ourselves. We believe in the team. We believe in the strategy. And we believe in the economy in Nigeria, that within this space, we can make a lot of difference and add value.
All right, you mentioned the economy of Nigeria. What about the economies of other African nations? Because we understand that you're expanding. Growth. It's a growth story, this entire segment we've had with you. So tell us about growth into other African territories.
Yes, so when you see we prime ourselves as a Pan-Africa investment and financial services group.
Yeah.
So we are not only focusing on Nigeria. So we are looking at Africa and the opportunity that lies in Africa. Sincerely, huge opportunity across Africa. The Africa Development Micro Policy and for the continent, shows that 11 out of 20 fastest growing economy in 2024 will be Africa. So for us, that is quite very key. So we are looking at that and see, so if that is the case, we cannot sleep. So we have to ensure that we continue to research, we continue to put on strategy that will move us towards that. And what we're going to do differently is to see we're going to offer a tailor-made services, because we acknowledge that each of these African countries, they are at different levels of development. So it's going to be tailor-made for each opportunity we see. Best-in-class services also. We're going to focus on infrastructure. We know that infrastructure gap across the continent, as we see.
Yep.
So now, given our strong investment banking background, so we're going to ensure that we look at how we're going to support the infrastructure gap that we see across, bringing our advisory, our project finance specialty and expertise to bear in doing that. And also, we acknowledge that we have financial inclusion gap in Africa. So coming from the strong expertise that we're in Nigeria on financial inclusion, we hope to ensure that we are able to distill it into African economy and to take advantage of the opportunity that we see.
Okay, so like I said at my intro, you've been in the game good 34 years now. So I have to ask you about other issues in financial markets, particularly for us here, the recapitalization exercise from the central bank. How do you think that's going to affect the sector? How are you positioning for the changes that will bring?
Great question. Indeed, I'm excited about this because for us in the capital market, it's indeed a welcome a welcome development. Why? Tell me any economy in the world that is developing without its capital market.
Right.
The capital market plays a very strong and pivotal role in shaping the direction of the development of any economy. And the decision of CBN on the area of capitalization for the banks would definitely activate that, the development and the growth of the capital market. And there's no doubt about that. For us, we are positioned, given the fact that, having operated in this client for over 6 decades, our investment bank has, been involved in large, name it, great one, and we are positioning ourselves. We have advised in every critical sector of this economy. The United Capital Investment Bank has played so well. And so we have done our advisory and as engineers and financial advisors. So we are positioned to ensure that we are able to, work with CBN and work with each of these banks to achieve their objective in terms of the recapitalization, which we believe has come to stay.
Yeah.
And again, our security business too, that is, playing alongside as, because this is the capital market now. But by and large, we believe that it's really, really going to be a game changer for the Nigerian capital market. Now, across the continent, we have South Africa as the largest, followed by Egypt, then Nigeria. We are hopeful that by the time we finish with all these processes, the recapitalization, that can pin Nigeria on the state of being number 2 in terms of the size of the market and that is being operated across the continent.
All right. So one of the banking sector supports, financial services sector supports all sectors, right? Oil and gas and so on and so on. I want to ask you about retail. There's been a lot of talk about the potential of the retail sector, growing population, purchasing power, but then they're facing headwinds as well, inflation and the likes. So what is your view on how you can support the retail sector in terms of where it's going as far as the Nigerian economy is concerned?
So retail, in fact, for us, we have a very strong retail strategy.
Yeah.
And that, again, has really helped in our exponential growth in the last 2-3 years. So we are positioned to play our role in that space. And part of, when I spoke earlier, I talked about our microfinance bank.
Yeah.
And, part of what we're trying to do is to ensure that if you have to play in that space, we need a license. We got the license and we are carefully structured. We have a clear strategy to see how we're going to play in that space. Which, we are quite sure. So that in playing in that space, what we need to do, how we need to structure, and we're going to go all blast digital. Digital in terms of our outlook, in terms of our product development, in terms of our product assets, which is going to be democratized across all the length and breadth of all the key players.
Yeah, and that's also with inflation rising, also interest rates for depositors and so on and so forth, right?
Yes, yes.
Mr. Ashade, I really appreciate you coming on the show. Peter Ashade, Group Chief Executive Officer of United Capital PLC. Impressive results. Hope to have you back to talk more about your growth across the market.
Thank you so much. It's
Thank
a
you.
pleasure.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.